Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah!
Yeah!
We got it! We got it!
New 52 book.
Somebody clip this for the woman.
Welcome to Comics League Superman Rewatch. I'm Jared. I'm here with Nick from the Phoenix Press. What's up, brother?
You know, there's been some lame episodes you forced me to watch, but I've got to say, this one has to be the lamest of them all.
Yeah, so this one is very much like a Lois focused episode, which I hate how we have two Lois episodes back to back, and I'm like, no,
So lame.
Do not give me this. But so in this episode, it's basically Lois dealing with a stalker, and my question is, why would anyone want to stalk Lois?
They want that byline.
Yeah. So essentially, Lois is like stalked for like a case, for like a story that she did in the past. And I'm like, okay, this would probably realistically happen to Lois. But the thing is, again, there is literally zero tension in this. And this is my problem with Lois and Clark. I mean, the pairing, there's no like stakes because I know he's going to save her. So I'm like, why do I care if she's thrown off a building or thrown off a freeway?
Yeah, agreed.
Because I know DC is not brave enough to actually kill Lois yet.
See, here's the thing about this show, and this is kind of I'm getting ahead of ourselves here. So in universe, they notice that Superman is always saving Jimmy, and he becomes Superman's pal and becomes a celebrity because of it. But he saves Lois a lot more than he saves Jimmy. So why aren't they giving that same attention to Lois?
Yeah, see, here's the fun part about this episode. I mean, about this show. They really don't give a lot of attention to Clark and Lois's relationship in this, in the way that they don't end up together at the end. That's why I kind of enjoy this. Mm-hmm. If you notice, they put other characters as more important than Lois. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, Jimmy gets more attention and spots than Lois.
Well, because he is more essential to Superman than Lois, I would argue.
Hey, bros before toes.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, so I don't know if you... Hey, what's up, Cameron? Hey, Nick, it's kind of fortuitous that this is the episode that we cover after covering Superman 2, because when Lois is in the elevator and Superman says, I believe this is your floor, this is a reference to the rescue from the Eiffel Tower elevator in Superman 2.
Also,
yeah.
Hey, Cameron Bailey, how you doing?
How you doing, brother? And this is one of the few episodes where Lex Luthor is an ally and not a foe.
Yeah, I was going to comment on that. When he says he respects her, I think part of him actually does.
Mm-hmm. I would say so. Yeah, exactly. And the cool thing, so it is kind of interesting when you see Lex turn out to be, like, help Superman eventually, because he's like, he's only looking out for his interests and stuff.
Yeah. But one of the things that's just, I think deep down Lex does, this version has like some sort of code of honor, and he at least sees Lois as a worthy adversary. Like this woman is worthy of my time. She's a worthy foe, kind of thing.
I always felt, it's kind of funny. You can make the argument that Lex is in love with Lois, but she always has eyes for Superman. Yeah, I know, lame. Well, if you notice how so far all the bad guys are the ones with the crush on Lois. It's almost like it's a sign of pure evil. I don't know. I'm just a dude. Cameron says, I mean, Lois is the only person to go after Lex, so of course he would respect her. True that.
Yeah.
And they do kind of do that in the comics as well.
And people like him, they always want what they can't have. So Lois having no interest in him is, of course, making him going to go wild with desire for her, because that's just how both people's brains works.
Mhm.
But I will say about this episode, I like the whodunit aspect. Like, they actually give you a couple different suspects.
Mhm.
And they slowly whittle it down. I will say, when we went to that one guy, I kind of clocked him right away. But we started seeing other ones. I got doubts. I should have listened to my instinct.
Yeah, you know what's kind of funny? So basically, Lois was stalked by Jigsaw. So he went, Miss Lane, do you want to play a game?
I mean, I thought this might have been like a weird version of Gizmo.
Yes, that too. But I was saying this was very similar to you want to play a game because he even hacks into her car. And this was a Fast and the Furious plot line in the movies. They hack into the driving mechanic of cars.
Fast and Furious?
What?
Woman.
Oh, yeah, that is very interesting.
Hashtag it's all connected.
Yes, we need the meme of the dude that's like that like has like all the yarn and it goes, it's all connected.
Coincidence? I think not.
I have always wondered why Jared doesn't hate MJ as much as Lois. No. Movie MJ is toxic. Comics MJ is actually, when you actually read, there's more of MJ being encouraging to Peter than there is. Like, let me put it this way: MJ never straight up bashed Peter Parker. Yes, go ahead, Nick.
Okay, in the Toby films, she is toxic, but in literally every other depiction of MJ, she is the best girl.
And we'll talk about that on Spider-Man 2 tomorrow on Saturday. But yeah, it's like,
oh god, I'm gonna have so many words.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that's the one version that's like that. You know what? I don't like that version. But when you read the comics ones, not written by Zeb Wells or not modern day Lois, like MJ, like Nick, when you read Sins Past, you even commented.
I knew we were going there. As soon as this topic came up, I knew we were going to go there.
Well, Nick, you even said the Lois and Peter parts were good.
The Lois and Peter parts? Happens to 1 in 5 men.
Oh, dang it! I was like, what did I say? Oh, god damn it!
You're starting to slip too,
The
sir.
MJ and Peter parts, old fart. Jeez.
Payback, mother effer.
Okay, so Nick will be banned from this channel. I'm only kidding. But yes, the MJ and Peter parts were good, right? Answer the question, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, even you comment on it. It's too bad it's too bad the rest of the story seems like it was written by John Byrne.
Oh, why did you say that name?
I have to. That's my new thing. Whenever they have a character sleep with or kiss a very underage character,
It's better than Goblin's O face.
Oh yeah, you actually see the O face. I know. I love where you were like hyping it up, and you're like, I don't want to turn the page, and then when you turn the page, you're like, oh.
I was dry heaving. It was so bad.
It was so good.
Which, by the way, if you want to see that, the anniversary stream is on my channel right now. It's a 500 subscribers special, I believe.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the current MJ with Paul is kind of like it's kind of like that by saying there's more good versions of MJ than there are good versions of Lois.
Yeah, like comics Lois is almost universally just not a good person, whereas she's had some bright spots on TV and movies. Like,
yeah,
obviously the Snyder version, Superman and Lois, and that's about it.
Yeah, because even Lois and Clark was a female dog.
And I've said myself how Erica Duress seems like a really nice lady, and I'd love to like talk to her sometime. But I could not stand the Lois character on Smallville. It was all the worst traits of Lois, but younger.
Oh, then I definitely have to skip and watch all the Lois parts so I can say, oh, you really want this version of Lois to come back, everyone?
Oh, God. I think she first premieres in season 4.
Mm-hmm. That explains it. It's not the season where everything goes off the rails.
No, that would be starting with season 5.
Okay. But it's like with but yeah, I actually like Smallville Lois Lane more than Terry Hatcher. I would say so because I've seen some of the episodes with that, and I think she was at least better than Terry Hatcher.
I haven't seen Tim and Lois in literal decades, so I can't comment on
Or in
it.
your case, centuries.
I mean, do you realize the resolution of those stone tablets when you're watching TV on them?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
You would know
I
that.
literally had 3:5 resolution. 3:5, man. Come on, that is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 3x5. I always thought Lois and Clark together in Smallville was a horrible idea. Lana or Chloe were better. Yep, either of those worked. Although Chloe didn't actually work out in the future, but that's all I'm going to talk about with that. And Lana ended up. Well, here's the thing: they could have easily fixed that if there weren't an embargo. Hey, Diana, I want to introduce you to my friend Clark Kent.
All right, I'm just going to say this now. I ship Clark and Allison, like the teleporter girl. They're the ones who really were meant to be.
When was she introduced?
I think that's season 4.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one who like teleported. It was like a stalker. Then she came back. She put some red kryptonite on him. They got married, and then the next episode she was.
This sounds like a CW plot. Jeez, I will say
this was WB at the time, by the way.
I will, yeah, but it's the same people. I will say what's really funny about Smallville, they butchered Doomsday. They turned him into Hulk. And wait a second, you use Doomsday before he's even Superman? What are you doing?
The problem is in the later seasons, he's like this like quasi Superman thing called the Blur. Like they were really fighting. Like we don't want to.
He even had a Justice League.
I liked how they played it with it sometime, like in the Aquaman episode. They're like, we need a junior lifeguard association.
Or I did hate, they were so lazy with Cyborg on the Justice League. It's just a regular dude, but the Cyborg parts are on the inside.
Budget, brother, budget.
Then don't use Cyborg as a character. He wasn't even on the Justice League at this point.
Also, can we say that this is the inspiration for Cyborg on the Justice League?
No, it's not. But anyway, you could have put Mira on the Justice League because Mira was actually really good in that show.
Was she on it?
She showed up for one episode. That was the one where Arthur came back because he was basically an eco-terrorist taking out oil like platforms, and he gets captured by Slade Wilson, who has apparently he's also mind controlled by Darkseid. I'm talking about Slade Wilson because when Clark X-rays him, he has an Omega symbol like branded on his brain.
You can really tell I never watched like the latter half of Smallville, and it shows.
You know what's hilarious? The show stopped. I love how the show is still called Smallville, even though it's not taking place in Smallville.
By the way, Jared, did you know they did a Wonder Twins episode?
Yes, and that is my problem with the show. They have all these D-list characters, but they can't even reference Diana or Bruce.
I mean, they reference Diana.
No, that doesn't count. Putting her in, using Lois to reference Diana doesn't count.
So, do you think the comic book creators, they saw that moment and be like, I'm going to do this in the comics?
Yeah, Daniel says why I like just Lois Lane. 1, because she had development and an evolution, and 2, she wears an Amazonian outfit, and 3, because she doesn't stalk Clark.
That's fair.
Oh, do you remember the Blue Beetle costume?
Oh god! Like I remember the costume. That some of them were actually pretty good. Like the Dr. Fate one was
Dr.
really
Fate
nice.
was good. Even the Hawkman one was good. Black Canary I hated because I like Black Canary with long hair.
Yeah, that was a really weird one. Also, it seemed like for a lot of the heroes, they had this obsession of putting them in hoods. Like Green Arrow, okay, I can see you putting hood on that guy.
Even had the voice changer, and I'm like, I see where you got Arrow from.
But why would you put a hood on Impulse? The character that specifically runs fast.
Yeah, how does that hood stay up when he's running at super speed?
Like, is there some sort of hook that goes on like a band or whatever? Like,
if not, they have to show it. There was a Legion of Superheroes episode as well. Oh god, yeah, that Blue Beetle costume was horrible. And I'm like, see, here's my thing. I know that one of the mandates was like he's not ever going to be in the suit, but I'm like, then don't make a Superman show, because that's what we're all here for.
Well, I think it was fine when they're like, this is why, to me, Smallville ended at the end of season 4. Because after season 4 it became an entirely different show. It was Clark Kent in high school, and honestly, the first 4 seasons, he mainly dealt with, like, media freaks. Like, it was a Monster of the Week format, it was homegrown stuff, he was becoming Superman. And that was fine. I think it worked fine for the first 4 seasons, but after you got him out of high school, he starts working at the planet, you start pushing him more of a superhero direction. I heard one person say they should have relaunched the series in season 5 called Metropolis.
Yeah, that would have at least worked on something.
They turned it into a Superman Year 1 show.
Yeah, Zatanna was good as well. I like Sorenda Swan as Zatanna. I thought she was
comic
really
accurate.
Good. Yeah, and comic accurate. And she kissed Clark, which I'm like, okay. But I'm like...
I mean, to be fair, if I was a lady and I was guest starring with, like, prime Tom Welling, I'd want to kiss him too.
No, but here's the stupid part. Whenever they have a show about a DC character, they always have to have the character kiss every single woman that shows up on the show. And I'm like, it's the same reason why
but
Bruce...
It's hot.
No, it's not. And I remember the ads for Smallville, and I'm like, none of this is sexy. It's actually very uncomfortable.
For Batman, I think it makes sense because he's a playboy.
No, the playboy part is an act, so
he does get around. Even he keeps his mask on because it's better that way.
Oh my god! Thank you, Frank Miller.
See, I both made my point and I made him cringe. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, but it's like I get it, but the whole thing is that show, and I'm talking about the DCAU, contributed to people thinking that Batman gets every single woman. There are videos talking about Batman's Riz, and I'm like, okay, so you don't care about the actual show. You just think of Batman as wish fulfillment, where you want to sleep your way across the DC universe. Well done.
I mean, for some people, like, people latch on to different aspects of a character for a reason, you know? Like, there are some people who like the Clark Kent aspect of Superman more than Superman, you know? People latch on to different aspects of character for a reason, and they're not wrong for doing so. So if a person latches on to the Bat Riz, which, by the way, that is officially a thing now, I've coined the term, then that's fine. I'm not going to judge someone for how they like a character.
I am, because then they start talking misogynistically about the other characters. So I'm like, nope, I can judge you.
There's only. Well, can we disagree? There's one woman he cannot land even without an unlimited prep time.
Yeah,
one woman he can't land.
Yeah, and Barbara Gordon.
2 women then.
Suck it, Bruce Timm. You suck.
Do you have a second Warner Brothers still?
I should. There's no way I would remove that.
Yeah, second Warner Brothers.
Oh,
okay,
wait.
Thank you.
I got a better one. I have 2 more I want to play.
Dweeb.
And
He fills out his clothes like lentils fill out a sandwich bag.
Oh, I've missed those clips.
I love that. I love Zach. Zach would love to have you on the show. Anyway.
That will happen. That will be a great.
That's going to happen eventually. But I liked it. So going back to the episode, before we get to our general discussion about Superman, because yeah, we'll do that. I kind of like this one, but because it's like really focused on Lois, I got to take off points because it's called Superman the Animated Series and not Lois the Animated Series.
I'm just going to say this gets a 3 out of 10.
Really? Okay, why?
The lame effect.
Is it worth taking off?
Like,
I'm gonna give it a 5.
Without the lame effect, like, let's pretend it's any other character but Lois, this would probably get like a 7 or an 8 because it's not a bad episode. It's pretty, like, it would probably get an 8 just because it's got some pretty decent, like, whodunit stuff, some good plot, some good action. But the lame effect, because it's so prominent, and honestly, Lois she throws Clark out of a moving car to his death.
Yeah.
Like, she murders Clark at one point.
So Lois is a murderer now.
Like, and she's like, "Oh, Clark, I'm sorry." Like, it was barely any register that she, like, and that, by the way, like, that was a near deliberate action because Clark was already solving the issue, and then she just,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah. On that note, yeah, I'll give it like a 3 out of 10 because of that. So the way it's gonna work for Superman the animated series is that for every Lois related episodes, I take off 5 points.
That is the lame effect.
Because here's why, and in addition to it being because it's Lois, it's because I'm watching a Superman show, not a Lois Lane show. That's my problem. If you want a Lois show, make a Lois show and it'll flop.
If you want a Lois centric show, watch My Adventure with Superman.
I hate that show. Okay, so moving on.
You hate it because it's a Lois show.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's My Adventures with Superman. They literally say it in the title. It is a Lois Lane
and you
show.
notice how they can't call it Lois Lane, or they have to bring in Superman because Lois can't carry a brand by herself. It's almost as if she's a heart. Whereas opposed with Wonder Woman, she's her own brand. Anyway, so back to in terms of general Q&A, you guys can ask us whatever you want to talk to us about. By the way, go ahead.
Sorry.
Sarah Gray Stargirl was good. Okay, so go ahead, Nick.
Something I've been meaning to ask you. So, are you familiar with the song "Kryptonite" by Three Doors Down?
Yes.
Do you like it?
I enjoy it. Yes, it's Three Doors Down.
It's a song about Superman.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman?
Yep, there you go. I love that. Even though Kryptonite does not make Superman go crazy, but
I mean, it's kind of a metaphor for relationships. You know, he's calling a woman his kryptonite. My kryptonite. So that's it's been one of my favorite songs for like forever. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know you were also a Three Doors Down fan. Wow.
Oh yeah. Didn't they do? No, it's big mention. No, my dad had like a lot of CDs back in the day, and that was one that I gravitated.
Dude, I didn't think I'd find any more ways for us to be even better friends, but I think I just found another way.
Yeah, is Lois Lane Korean American in this cartoon? She is in My Adventures with Superman.
By the way, I've seen Three Doors Down in concert. I've heard Kryptonite live.
Like you. By the way, next episode is Mixelplick.
Oh, the Gilbert Godfrey episode.
To prove he's clever, Mixelplick comes from another dimension to play mind games with Superman.
I just want to say, Gilbert Godfrey makes for he is perfect casting for Mixelplick.
Yeah.
With a kryptonite warhead!
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So what other questions do you guys have for the old man or for me? It can be anything Superman related, anything comics related. I did read Absolute Superman. I enjoyed it, and I will be doing a review of it on Wednesday.
Nice.
So let's see what questions. Have you guys heard that?
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg, Batmobile lost the wheel, and the Joker got away. Hey.
Okay, that works.
No,
exactly. So,
which, by the way, is the Joker does sing that in BTAS.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that the Joker's Christmas episode?
I think so. Yeah,
I love that. So what other questions do you guys have? Yeah,
I hope. Okay. This is a question for you. And this is just an idea I had. So when it comes to like tax day coming up next year, can we cover the episode of BTAS, just specifically that episode where he says, "I'm afraid of the IRS," just for like on tax day? I feel like that would be so funny.
All right. When is it?
Oh God. It's a few months away. It's just we were on the topic and it just seems so perfect. It looks like because tax day in the U.S. is like the last day to file taxes.
April 15th, 2025.
Yeah. All right, let me look at that. That is a Tuesday.
We'll cover it that week.
Okay.
But so what other questions do you guys have regarding Superman, even absolute Superman and stuff? What have you got? We could talk about general comic stuff.
All right. So, what comic book character do you think could defeat Superman?
In terms of which universe?
Any universe. Let's just say
Wonder
not
Woman
DC.
can, Batman can,
What do
Darkseid
you-
can.
Thor.
Okay, can Thor?
His powers are based off of magic.
I would say he can.
Yeah, I think he has a chance because I feel like Thor is at least Wonder Woman's level of strength and durability.
Yeah, but by the way, Brown says, any opinion on the new Marvel movie? I know that they put out trailers for like Captain America and Thunderbolts. So far, again, the only thing I'm really pumped for is Daredevil, but the other movies are interesting to me.
I'll say the Captain America movie is growing on me a little bit. It is kind of ridiculous that Sam Wilson, a non-super soldier, is going up against the Hulk. Like, that is just kind of ridiculous, in my opinion. I don't care that he has like vibranium wings and the shield. It's just no.
He doesn't have enhanced speed or anything like that from the super soldier. It would be one thing if they gave him the super soldier serum.
Even Cap would have a lot of even Cap. There's no way Cap could defeat Hulk.
Did you see the Ultimate Avengers animated movie?
The ones from like mid 2000s.
Yeah,
it's been a while, but yes.
The Hulk fights Captain America and kicks his ass. We should cover those because those are really fun.
Oh God, I haven't seen those in nearly 20 years. Like, I watched them when they first came out.
That's pretty much like page to screen, the first volume of Ultimates.
I will say I did watch the first trailer of Thunderbolts, and I gotta say it looked kind of interesting. I think the way I commented is it looks like the Suicide Squad movie David Ayer wanted to make.
Thank God it's not the one James Gunn wanted to make.
But do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, it's very much like so essentially it's the Ayer cut in other words, in terms of like a more serious take. Yes, and I think with Marvel they need more serious take because I'm sick and tired of stupid humor. How about the newly released Marvel movie? Venom. I haven't seen it yet. I will soon.
I'll probably watch it when it comes out on video.
Yeah, but I'm excited for it. I've heard mixed things about it, but I'm still going to go with an open mind because I loved both, even though the second was more flawed.
Yeah, I'm hyped for Daredevil. Fantastic Four, I would say I'm excited for.
They showed some more footage of that. It looks interesting.
And yes, I saw the leaked trailer for Tron Ares when it dropped on Disney D24 or whatever, and I'm kind of disappointed. It doesn't look good, but
the game has changed,
and not in a way I like it. But since I've kind of built up my thing as like the Tron Legacy guy, I feel like I'm kind of obligated because you know how like us content creators we have like our things. One of mine is Tron Legacy. Like, I never shut up about that movie, so I feel like I kind of have to now.
I can testify to that. He never shuts up about that movie. I can definitely testify to that.
Do you remember how happy I was when we finally covered it on the channel?
And I actually did pretty well. So, there you go. But, so let's see. Still wanting a good Fantastic Four movie since
2005 is good.
2005 is good. The second one is meh. We pretend the Fantastic one does not exist.
I need to watch Fantastic at some point just to see how bad it is.
You've never watched it?
There's a lot of stuff I refuse to watch until you drag me into the theater, kicking and screaming.
We may have to watch that for movie nights.
Well, I guess that'll be the one I don't appear on.
No. If I'm doing it, you have to show up for it.
Well, maybe a bribe will help, but you know.
Yeah, but Yeah, it's essentially that. But yeah, I enjoyed the first Fantastic Four movie. I'm gonna say that. Second one, I enjoyed not as much, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Oh gosh, imagine if we oh god, do you remember? Have you ever seen like the Fantastic Four cartoon of like the '60s and the '80s?
I saw the Fantastic Four, the more modern Fantastic Four cartoon, like when She-Hulk showed up.
Yeah, the one from the '90s. There's one where they replaced Johnny Storm with a robot.
Of course.
Instead of Johnny Storm, it was Johnny Five.
Well, isn't that kind of interesting? About like the original Human Torch was a robot.
Which I still love how they referenced that in the first Captain America movie.
Yeah, that's one of those blink and you miss it cameos, and I'm like, okay.
And what genius is, like, yeah, it would make sense that that it would be on display at the World's Fair.
Yeah, exactly. And in the Stark area, so they basically implied that it was made by someone at least working for Stark.
Or, you know, it said Dr. Phineas's marvelous creation, so, or at least adjacent. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked both Fantastic Four movies from the 2005 era. Yeah, exactly. Let me put it this way: compared to the Fantastic ones, they are Zack Snyder's Justice League level.
Like, I gotta say, having Chris Evans come back as Johnny Storm, I kind of had a feeling that they do that because Chris Evans and Ryan Reynolds are very good friends. In fact, Ryan Reynolds actually there's a movie called on Netflix called Ghosted with Chris Evans and Ana de Armas, and Ryan Reynolds actually makes a cameo in it.
So does basically every Marvel actor shows up in this movie.
Okay, can we cover that movie on movie night at some point? Just because of like the sheer number.
No, I still can't do that. No, I wish I could, but no, I can't. I definitely can't.
It's actually a halfway decent movie. It's not like
it's a fun movie. It's just for search engine optimization. I can't do that.
Captain America and the Ballerina.
Yeah, exactly. In the bell. Yeah, that's true. So what other questions do you guys have for us? Can be about anything Superman or non-Superman related. Yeah, go ahead.
So Brown Destroyer says like people on Twitter were complaining about what were they complaining about exactly? I mean
that he just got killed. It's not a Human Torch movie.
And like, I'm sorry, but like, did you watch the movies? Like, yeah, Johnny would go on an expletive-laden rant like that. That's perfectly in character for him.
Yeah, for that version of Johnny Storm, yeah, 110%. That is him.
Like, yeah, I get it. It's Johnny Storm plus essentially 20 years, but people don't change that much in 20 years, you know, especially without any like big events.
I feel like it's because people got like. They forgot how he was back then because the movies were so long ago.
And that was kind of like that was part of the joke is you're seeing essentially Captain America swear up a storm. I think at one point even Deadpool says language.
Yeah, I love that. My favorite is when when Deadpool is like, he's gonna say it. Avengers, flame on. What?
And he says, what the S word?
Yeah. By the way, Deadpool and Wolverine is coming out on Disney Plus next week. Actually, in 2 days, as a matter of fact, November 12th. So
I mean, I saw it in theaters, so.
So did I. I love that movie. They kind of proved to me that if Hugh Jackman wanted to be Wolverine some more, I think he could do it.
They'll have him do it till he's 90.
Yeah, exactly. No truer words have been said in that show. Jeez.
Though I do hope the rumors of Henry Cavill meeting with Marvel and he becomes the
Hyperion.
All right. Do your one reference.
Okay, so what they do is they recruit every single DCEU actor, have Zack Snyder direct a Squadron Supreme movie based on his original storyboards for DC, and then Kevin Feige goes, "Your move, James Gunn."
How would you feel?
Yeah, go ahead.
If the twist in the Thunderbolts is when the guy puts on the Sentry belt, he becomes Henry Cavill Sentry.
Oh god, that would be great. Although no, because I want him to be Hyperion, because Hyperion is Superman.
But Sentry's Superman as well.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's Superman if Superman was possessed by a demon. He's not that. Should Human Torch have lost to Pyro? Yeah, that was the part where I was like, I don't remember Pyro being able to suck fire out of people, but okay.
Well, here's the thing. Pyro can manipulate fire, he can't create it. Like, so, can he manipulate Human Torch's fire? Yeah, sure. Can he, like, suck all of it out? No, because the Human Torch can literally go supernova. Like, he has enough fire. He is the Human Torch. He's a human fire candle. Like, it's kind of like there's so much power there kind of thing.
Unlimited power!
So, like, could he manipulate the Human Torch's fire? Yes. Could he suck all of it out? I guarantee you he can't.
That really sucks. But anyway, so yeah, that was the one part where I was like, I don't remember that happening, but yeah, I will give you that. It's kind of like how Mayra on the Snyder Cut can like suck the water out of Steppenwolf.
That one I'm a little more. You mean Mira was a bloodbender?
No, that's different. I heard a report that Cornsweat is being thought of as Superman during Toby Emmerich's time. Yes, that is what actually happened. Is that so? Most of the DCU plans that you're seeing are just rehashed plans from the old regime, like pre-Zaslav regime, including Cornsweat replacing Cavill as Superman.
Like, didn't we oust Hamada for a reason?
Yeah, and you wonder, and it was kind of funny. James Gunn himself criticized the old regime, saying they just said doesn't have they were just green lighting stuff without it being able to actually sell characters. And I'm like, oh really?
And you know what James Gunn is doing? He's just green lighting stuff without it being able to sell characters.
Well, actually, the other thing that happened is that a lot of the stuff that's being greenlit were stuff that he and his friends pitched to Warner Brothers and it got rejected. So now that he's in charge, he's just green lighting all of his stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, like, all it really takes is Superman Legacy. I'm sorry, that's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
All it takes is a movie underperforming. Like, if it doesn't do $1 billion, Gunn is done.
Yeah, if it doesn't do it, because here's why. Because you could say, well, Gunn probably told them not to expect to make $1 billion. The way Zaslav is talking to investors about this movie, like Gunn is sent by God. We have the most iconic Superman movie ever. It's the greatest movie ever made. I guarantee you, he told them this is gonna make $1 billion.
If it makes in the $900 million range, then maybe he might be able to wrangle something. But yeah, anything less than 900 million, because if it's in the 800, or dare I say even 700, because I think this is going to be a $600 to $700 million movie. That's my prediction.
I think it's going to make less than Man of Steel.
Before inflation.
Yeah, that's what I think it's going to make. So, because Man of Steel...
My benchmark is a Batman. That's my benchmark.
Yeah, exactly. Brown says, is absolute Superman not white? No, he's white. He's white. But anyway, yeah, it's like, because Man of Steel before inflation made like $670 million. So we'll go off of that. I think it makes less than that. And if it makes less than Man of Steel, I'm going to be like, you should have kept Zach, bitch.
Yeah, my benchmark is the Batman, because that was a recent film. Batman is objectively a more popular character. Yeah. The film had a great marketing campaign. It actually generated hype for the movie. And it still only made $700 million.
They should have started with a Batman movie.
And so if it can make more than the Batman, like even make 750, I will consider it a success personally. But it won't. Because Batman is a more popular character than Superman. Batman puts a butt in the seat. Superman has struggled since the Reeves era. It's literally been 40 years since we've had a successful Superman franchise.
Well, the other thing is, like, the other thing is like, first off, the general audience doesn't care who James Gunn is. Because here's the thing, a lot of Gunn fans are acting like the general audience follows directors like we follow Zack Snyder, say. But no, the general audience is just saying, oh, a Superman movie. I'm going to maybe go see it or something like that. Plus, in the era of streaming, they could just say it's going to be on Max. Why am I wasting money going to a movie theater?
I mean, people do follow directors, like especially like general film fans. Like there's Robert Eggers fans, there's Edgar Wright fans, there's Zack Snyder fans. There are people who, for some reason, are Joss Whedon fans.
No, but I'm saying, I know that, but I'm saying not enough for this movie to be as successful as WB wants it to be.
The point I'm making is, well, yes, there are James Gunn fans who help him as a director. There's not enough to support a movie like this.
Yeah, exactly. Particularly with a lot of the Amazon appears. Yeah, and apparently, so the way it's going to work is the series is going to be told. It's going to be like Wonder Woman telling a story. We're not going to know it's Wonder Woman. Then she's going to be introduced in the last episode. So Wonder Woman is literally an afterthought in her own show.
They're literally circulating it.
Yeah. So for those of you that because here's the thing, I was promised that Gunn would be respecting the source material. I don't see that. The minute you put Tom King on there and he says Tom King is the creative on Lanterns and he gives me script notes on Superman and Supergirl, and I'm like, okay, like massive red flag.
I would not have agreed to it, but if he had got brought in Jeff Johns for Green Lanterns,
yes,
at least that would have made some sort of sense. Like we can say, like you can argue if he was good for Green Lanterns, but at least like okay, Jeff Johns at least makes sense to bring in for Green Lanterns.
Well, he was a crappy studio head, but he's a good comic book writer, and yeah, Green Lanterns, that's like one of the projects that he can do. He can't do Wonder Woman, as we saw with 1984, but when it comes to like Green Lanterns, that's one of the few projects I would trust him.
Okay.
Not respect the source material, and what he's got in the movie is more like Larry Fink's wish list to copy Superman 4 instead of giving us Brainiac.
Well, that was Superman 3, but yeah. Oh God, yeah, Mac.
DCU fans are acting like Gunn invented filmmaking. Very annoying. Yeah, and before it gets thrown in my face, the whole Zack Snyder's The Blueprint thing started because literal filmmakers have said we were inspired by Zack Snyder's work.
I mean, X-Men 97, like the storm scene. Bo DeMeo literally went on Twitter and confirmed that was directly inspired.
And then people argued with him about that.
Literally, the person who wrote the scene.
Oh, by the way, Superman and frickin' Lois, they said, oh yeah, we were heavily inspired by Man of Steel.
I mean, the whole like CW Superman stuff, like the suits themselves are heavily Man of Steel inspired. I
mean, he doesn't even have the stupid trunks. And look at
Supergirl's suit. The pattern on her suit is literally ripped straight out of Man of Steel.
Particularly the later Supergirl suits and stuff.
Even the original one with like the skirt, like the blue parts are very Man of Steel-esque.
Yeah, because in Man of Steel, he put like a lot of texture on it, and to hear Zach talk about it, he said he wanted it to feel like he was a knight with chainmail.
Yeah. So here's a question for you. So we talked about like bringing in certain comic creators to serve as creative consultants for certain characters. If you were to bring in a comic book writer or artist to be the creative consultant for Superman, who would you choose?
It could be anyone, living or dead.
Living.
All right. Jeff Johns has a pretty decent track record when it comes to Superman.
For
Grant
Batman,
Morrison.
I bring in Marv Wolfman.
Okay, Grant Morrison for Superman, because he did a lot. He did the first like 35, 25, I think, issues of New 52 Superman. I think that should be the blueprint for a new Superman. Grant Morrison's the blueprint. Definitely not Mark Waid, because I don't want him getting any more authority.
Yeah.
In terms of for Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman is tough because the writer that I would trust is unfortunately passed away, and that's George Perez, because I would not trust Gail Simone. Sure as hell would not trust Tom King. Actually, you know what? Kelly Thompson, absolute Wonder Woman.
I'm gonna. This might be a bit of a hot take, but if they're gonna do anything like Birds of Prey, Batgirlish, I actually would bring in Gail Simone.
Yeah, I'm saying not for Wonder Woman. Yeah, 100% for like that. Yeah, 100% trust.
Like if they're gonna do like a Batgirl thing and have her consult, I would like because she honestly she wrote some of the best Batgirl stories.
And by the way, remember when we thought that they were going to have like a council basically of like filmmakers and comic book writers that would advise on this? And we did episodes talking about that. Where did that go? But anyway, if I were to be the other writer I would have on Batman is Scott Snyder. Get a lot of the writers from in addition to Snyder, but it's like get a lot of the new 52 writers, particularly the ones that wrote the really popular series, because they know how to adapt these characters for like now.
Well, if that's the case, like for a Batman panel, you got to have Jeff Loeb on that panel.
Yep, 110%. Jim Lee.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do artists, then Greg Capullo.
Grant Morrison. Particularly as it relates to like Damian.
All right, you're not going to like this, but Frank Miller.
No, for Batman, yes. Particularly older Batman, yes, I'm fine with that. For Superman and Wonder Woman, though,
he'll make sure Batman keeps his mask on.
Oh, it's better that way. Charles Sewell for Superman or Wonder Woman, or both, because yes, there would be a Superman Wonder Woman film franchise if I were in charge. Before you ask, for Suicide Squad, nothing. They're not big enough for their own brand, WB. You have 2 examples in the modern day of this not working.
And if they do have like some Nightwing stuff, it's got to bring in Chuck Dixon and Marv Wolfman.
They're not going to bring in Chuck because of the people he associates with. But yes, if you were in charge, yes.
But you do realize DC has been putting out volumes of his Nightwing run, so
yeah, I know.
They're happy to make money off of him.
I got one. Alex Ross. Alex Ross does the movie posters. Your move, Marvel.
Oh, tomorrow is gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we should definitely do that. Definitely
we
not
are
Alan
doing
Moore
that.
because he hates comics now.
Oh, we should bring in Dan Jurgens.
No. Tom King will be laughed out of the office. Well, like I said, we're not adapting your crappy books. I would have
anything Teen Titans, you got to bring in Marv Wolfman in.
Yeah.
Anything Teen Titans.
Yeah.
No, I will say Jeff Johns should be at the table as well, because Jeff Johns' Teen Titans run is good.
Yeah, and in terms of like Justice League, Jeff Johns, Zack Snyder, for obvious reasons. Honestly, you could have Grant Morrison involved in that. Grant Morrison is gonna be pulling triple duty in my bullpen.
You know, in terms of bringing back like filmmakers to consult,
Nolan.
Obviously, I was gonna say Burton, but you know,
would Burton come back though?
He wouldn't, and Nolan wouldn't either because he hates Warner Brothers at the moment.
Yeah, but he would to work with Zach. And he did say he is open to coming back to WB.
Imagine, imagine, it's like, Nolan, please, anything, please, like, literally anything. What would it take? Justice League 2 by Zack Snyder? Anything but that!
And then they're like, no. Exactly.
And all of a sudden, like, they announced Justice League 2 with Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan's next movie, and then literally the same announcement.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan worked closely with Affleck on the Batman movie that they were making. Can you imagine a creative team up of Affleck and Christopher Nolan?
No. Imagine okay. Okay, so this is my dream team. I want a Batman movie directed by Robert Eggers. You know, Northman, The Lighthouse, and all that.
I would love for Robert Eggers to Wonder Woman movie.
But you know, Robert Eggers would be great for Batman.
Yeah.
So produced by Christopher Nolan, starring Ben Affleck.
That would work.
No,
Because
produced
the
by Christopher Nolan
Northman
and Zack
literally
Snyder.
turns into Batman at a certain point.
And the next Robert Eggers movie is Nosferatu. He's making a Batman movie.
I know, right? Exactly.
I'm actually really excited. Like Christopher Eggers has got to be like, oh,
Christopher
gosh.
Eggers.
Frick you.
Oh,
Oh.
man.
Oh, I will say this. You want to know one director I would bring in for a Suicide Squad movie? Edgar Wright.
Okay, I think he could do that.
I think he would make a really good, like, especially like the current tone of Suicide Squad. I think he would nail it.
And before you ask, would I let James Gunn play? I would say yes, but at no point can you have characters swear. It has to be PG-13 at all times. You are not allowed to make an R-rated superhero movie.
And this is the only reason I have any hope for Superman, is because when you force Gunn into a PG-13 environment, aka Guardians of the Galaxy, he actually does really good work. And like when you're forcing him to control his vices, he puts out actually very wholesome content. Like, I'm sorry, the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special kind of got me misty-eyed in places. Like, that was a dang good special.
But the problem is like, yeah, he probably, there won't be an F-bomb in Superman, but there'll still be fart jokes in there.
I love how the only F-bomb in the MCU is in Guardians 3. Like,
Of course,
Gunn
because the James Gunn movie. Anyway, was that the only one? Yeah. Max says, what are your thoughts on Angelina Jolie directing and maybe writing a Wonder Woman movie?
I don't
know if she's really that like into Wonder Woman though.
Yeah.
Maybe nah. I would have to know more information. Superman does not need to be R-rated; just needs a proper casting, proper management, and less political hacks. Well, that's true, but
I mean, I actually really want an R-rated Batman movie so bad.
Oh, that would be so. Which villain would you have him fight in an R-rated Batman movie?
Scarecrow.
Okay, that could work. Court of Owls could work in R-rated.
Or Hush. Imagine an R-rated Hush movie.
Oh my god, that would be so good. Oh yeah.
Like Hush is the perfect one. Or they do the Arkham Asylum one. Oh god.
That would Arkham Asylum as an R-rated. Oh, that book. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And if they have that one directed by Nolan, he could do all of his crazy visuals.
I have an interesting one. What if we got the Duffer Brothers, the people who did Stranger Things, to do a Legion of Superheroes, either show or movie?
Or they could do a Teen Titans movie.
Set in the 80s.
And then you can have like Marv Wolfman as a creative consultant on the scripts.
Or they get the Karate Kid people to do Teen Titans.
And then we discovered that it was Teen Titans the entire time. Witness protection program!
I was waiting for that. Which, by the way, Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 2 comes out soon, so we're doing that.
Yeah. Would the Legion bring cash? Nope. But
no.
But here's the thing. This would be in a healthy cinematic universe where you can make that risk. In other words, assuming that like the first say 5 movies have been successful and people trust the DC brand, because that's how people showed up for Guardians. They trusted Marvel at that point.
And that's the only reason why Captain Marvel made $1 billion.
Well, Captain Marvel, not necessarily. That movie made $1 billion because they falsely marketed it as required viewing for Endgame, and it wasn't.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, you want to find out how the Avengers, you want to find out how Fury lost an eye, like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Because besides the show and movie, who knows them? In terms of general audience, in terms of Legion,
even among comic book fans, they're a bit unknown. It's kind of like a very hardcore thing. Like every time they do a superhero show, the Legion does show up eventually. Like they showed up on Young Justice. Justice League versus the Fatal Five was with the Legion. They're like right on the edge of like being known by the general comic audience.
I mean, Superman fans know them pretty well because of how closely linked to Superman they are.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like, general comic book people aren't necessarily like that like known, but that can't. No, but the point is that's irrelevant because who knew who the Guardians were? All you got to do is have a healthy cinematic universe first, then you can start taking risks.
Yeah, and the thing about the Legion is they have a rich history of amazing stories going back to the 60s. They debuted in 1959. Nice.
Which is why what I would do is I would make them like, let's say a Legion movie is the last movie of the current lineup of movies we do because they take place in the future. That way you don't have to worry about it spoiling any plot points for movies coming out. And with Legion.
Well, the thing with the Legion of Superheroes is it takes place 1,000 years in the future, where it's so far in the future that the events of today don't really matter that much. Like, you don't even have, like, it's such, like seriously, do we even talk about stuff that happened in 1024? And that's 1,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
It's like futuristic Titans, kind of, yeah. And you could kind of roll with that. And yeah, that's a good point, Nick. But the point is, we do the project after the universe has been like solidified, and we know that it's trending upwards and being successful. Yeah, I think you could probably do that.
Yeah, because Legion is basically kind of a mixture of like Justice League, X-Men, you got like that like interpersonal drama. Like they're a huge thing, and they're essentially the Justice League of the 3000.
Yeah, they are. It's pretty much that. And you can make that one super like optimistic. You can even have like young Superman show up. You could have them show up in the Superman origin movie to tease that they exist because there is a period where Superboy serves on the Legion.
Yeah, like there's actually a lot of stories where like high school era Superman with a Legionnaire, like he'd talk about like, oh, I go on an adventure in between classes.
The Great Darkness Saga. Superboy's in this.
Supergirl is a Legionnaire as well.
Yeah.
In fact, I think Supergirl actually is more of a Legionnaire than Superman.
Yeah, she that's where they put her in the Tomorrowverse, as a matter of fact.
DCAU.
Oh yeah, exactly. And she's dating Brainiac. That is an awkward family thing. Outside the main 7 in the league, who would you think is the hardest to get mainstream? Green Lantern. The main 7 in the league. Who do you think is the hardest? Okay, so assuming the main 7 are Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and Cyborg. I would say,
Cyborg.
You mean, okay, Cyborg?
Because all the other characters have rich histories of stories and villains going back like almost 100 years. Mm-hmm. Like all the other characters have their origins in the Golden Age or at least the Silver Age. Cyborg is from the 80s at the earliest. Cyborg doesn't have... It's a kind of a Miles Morales type problem.
And Barry Cameron... I would agree with when Aquaman had his movies not made the most of the DC movies in their respective times.
Yeah, they've cracked the code for Aquaman. That character, they've cracked the code for him.
Watch. If they make the new Aquaman not like Momoa, watch it not perform well. Because I would argue the way they did a significant portion of why Aquaman was really successful was Momoa.
I would say that, but also... they drew upon like a lot of like Game of Thrones style like royalty politics and all that stuff, and it actually like really worked because it's like honestly like Aquaman is the Sword in the Stone. It's a King Arthur story.
It's literally his name is Arthur,
and the trident is basically Excalibur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So it is. They did the Arthurian legend, and it worked. They adapted that framework, and like Ocean Master is Mordred.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can apply this all along. Mira is Morgana.
Yeah, and no. Well, what's kind of separate the character from the actress, please, from now on.
Okay.
But yeah, and R.I.P. Tony Todd, who was the voice of Darkseid and Azeroth and Batman, and also Venom in the Spider-Man game.
Apparently, they were developing a Venom spin-off game, but now it's a little bit in limbo.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Brucifer? How are you, dude?
Hey, buddy.
But yeah. So yeah, Aquaman is the one that they definitely figured out. Thank you, Zack Snyder.
Also, thank you, James Wan.
Oh yes, 100%. The other character that I think at least was very much helped by the DCEU was, let's face it, Wonder Woman, because she was always like known because of the Linda Carter show. But that first movie gave her because I would argue pre-movie, she was B++, I would say. The movie is what, in terms of like general audience, made her A-lister.
Yeah, like Wonder Woman is a character who's always existed right on the periphery of the mainstream. Like, I would say she was known by a lot of the mainstream audience. In fact, a lot of casual comic book fans are fans of Wonder Woman. And not just for Linda Carter, but like for a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
But it was the Wonder Woman movie that birthed her into mainstream superstar A-list status. Like, now Wonder Woman is on the same level as Superman and Batman. The Trinity is now on the same level.
Yeah, Cameron says, even though but the movie she would already be an A-lister, but DC still hates her. Yeah, exactly. DC does not promote, because you know why? And Britt and I cracked this, because if they emphasize they have to de-emphasize Wonder Woman, so people don't say, why is he with Lois if Wonder Woman is the better match?
Yeah, because like the thing with me is, going into Justice League, Wonder Woman was actually a bit of a surprise hit.
Yeah.
Like, people weren't expecting it to do that well, and it actually did really well. And to me, the movie's success can be summed down to one moment. It's when Steve Trevor is, "This is no man's land. That means no man can cross it." And she just gives him a look and goes up. A Marvel movie would have said, "I am no man."
Well,
here's
the
were
scene.
Smart enough to let you fill in the blank in your head, and then they did that scene.
Well, here's the line, because like no man can pass that. Yes, and a lesser writer would have said, "I'm no man," but first, Steve Trevor goes, "This is not what we came here to do," and then Wonder Woman puts the tiara on and goes, "No, but it's what I'm going to do," and then she just gets up, slow motion, and then, by the way, the No Man's Land scene, Warner Brothers wanted to cut.
But I always love how he says, like, this is no man's land, and she just looks at him. She just gives him a look and then goes up. I love that moment, because they leave the obvious line unsaid and have the audience in their head to say it, and then
all the other soldiers also charge with her.
Yeah, she gave hope.
Karen says, "I'm actually reading Golden Age comics. It's surprising that Super Wonder was a thing that early." Yeah, because here's the thing. Siegel and Shuster and even the Marstons were kind of pushing for that. By speaking of Golden Age, I actually picked up, because DC is putting out these finest collections, and I picked up the Golden Age Superman one, which is from 38 to 40.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's like, Super Wonder goes all the way back to the character's inceptions. By Jared, what do you think about the Center from New Frontier as the main threat of the DCU? Isn't it too goofy? Yeah, I think a sentient island is a bit much because here's the thing. Here's what Gunn is running into, and what I think is going to be the downfall of the DCU. He's focusing too much on comic book fans and not on general audience, because the general audience is not going to be able to go, "It's a sentient island."
But Jared, a sentient island worked in X-Men.
Not in the movies. They never did in the movies. You noticed that?
What? You don't want them to go to Krakoa in the X-Men movies?
No, I do not. And neither does Marvel, because they took them off the island, destroyed it. But the point is, you can't. It's like when there was thought that he was going to put Mixie in a Superman movie, and I'm like, no. Crypto is like in that level where I'm like, okay, Superman has a dog. That's fine. That I think could work.
Yeah. Pixel Nick he works in cartoons. He definitely works in cartoons, which, as we shall see next week, by the way.
Yeah, it's like, see, here's my problem is, and this is a problem with like a lot of comic book fans. They think that because it works in the comics and like animated things, they think it will work in like live action. And I had this conversation with Sam Liu because even on the animation side, there's some stuff they cannot do because it's not going to translate well.
Imagine if for Bratman Brave and the Bold, they brought in Batmite.
Honestly, knowing Gunn, that's something that they would do, that he would do. So I'm like, no. That's the thing. Yeah. Also, New Frontier is an Elseworld, which is forever in the 1960s. Yeah, it's in a world where JFK was not assassinated. By the way, it's Earth 21, according to Multiversity. It's probably not canon anymore, but still. But the point is like, I think so. Yeah, because Gunn said it was an influence in the DCU. I think the part of superheroes playing a role throughout U.S. history is what he's talking about, which that works. But in terms of, you have to be very careful on how you do this, because here's the thing. Here's why you can't do that in movies. Because the general audience is going to ask, why did World War II happen? If like Superman is there. They did a comic, by the way, back in the 40s. Was like, here's how Superman would end the World War II. He just flies to Germany and grabs Adolf, flies to Japan, grabs Hirohito, brings him to the World Court. War's over. Because who's going to stop him? He's Superman.
I think the way they explain it in the comics is Clark Kent goes to get drafted, and he's doing the eyesight test. And his X-ray vision is actually reading the sign in the next room. So they think he's blind as a bat, so he gets 4F'd.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why they explain it or something.
Yeah, but the point is they did a 2-page comic that was just, here's how he would end the war. Bum, bum, done. Unless World War II didn't happen in the DCU's world, I'm like, then...
Yeah, I think Watchmen actually touched upon this.
Yeah.
With Dr. Manhattan interceding in the Vietnam War.
Yeah, it changed history. I'm like, okay, fine. But how does... So you're telling me the Holocaust still happens and all this? This has the potential to be very tone deaf.
Yeah, that's why when you look at 1984, they literally threw in some pictures of her liberating concentration camps to show, yeah, Wonder Woman was a part of Apollo. Like, there's no way Wonder Woman would sit out World War II. There's no way.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, even with that, why wouldn't she just grab her sword? Because, by the way, I'm going to reference Squadron Supreme. In Heroes Reborn, in the alternate universe, Zarda literally went to Germany and chopped off Adolf's head.
I think
war's over. That is.
I think my fan theory is because of the events of World War One, she learned you can't just kill the leader. Killing the leader doesn't kill the war thing and the people. So I think that's why she didn't like immediately go to Germany.
Well, not only that,
kill the painter.
He doesn't have to. She doesn't have to kill the painter. Just wrap him in the lasso and bring him to the World Court. Done.
But as she saw in the World War One, killing Ludendorff didn't kill.
I'm not saying kill him. I'm saying capture him.
Removing him from the equation. Killing him, capturing him, it doesn't matter. Removing him from the equation. That's the end result. Someone else would take the place and would continue the war machine.
Okay, that makes sense. But again,
and she directly saw the results of that in World War One.
Yeah, but anyway, that's why like the superheroes never really got involved in like the wars. That's why they never did like comics of like Batman and Superman fighting in World War II. They did covers, yes, but not them actually fighting because they don't exist, and it was seen as tone deaf to the servicemen overseas.
Like Captain America works because he's a super soldier. Like he's not like Superman levels, so he can still fight on the front line.
He can be shot, so it's a little closer to the average soldier than Superman.
I will say, like Batman in World War II, that would be some comics that would be interesting to read. That
would be fun. Yeah, it is New Frontier even that popular compared to other Elseworld stories? I still say they should have done Kingdom Come to end the DCEU and then just move on. That's the best story you could have done to end the. That's literally almost the end of DC.
I still think in about 10 years or so, we're going to get a Crisis on Infinite Earths, probably 3-parter, where they bring together all of the previous live action people.
Counterpoint.
Yeah.
That's going to have to be in a time period many years down the line, because it can't be because of Marvel's handling of the multiverse. If you do anything that involves the multiverse, the audience is going to check out.
That's why I'm saying in like 10, maybe 15 years. Because for a lot of these actors, we're already seeing that a lot of them are dying off. Like, yeah, Henry could appear in 20 years. Gal could. But, like, what about someone like, sorry, I'm throwing a blank on, like, a character for, someone like Michael Keaton appearing in 20 years. Like, that might not be possible. 10 years would be stretching it. Michael Keaton might be able to appear as Batman in 10 years. Not in 20 years. In 20 years, he'll probably be dead.
Yeah.
I know that's blunt, but you know.
But here's the thing. If they did Kingdom Come, then guess what? It doesn't matter that the actors are getting old, because it's the last movie, and literally the superheroes are old in that universe.
I still think Kingdom Come is better, because then it gives you an excuse to bring in a wide variety of people. And not necessarily from your current universe.
No, you mean Crisis.
Crisis, yes.
You are really having an old man, because you said Kingdom Come. No, but yeah, no, I'm saying at least to end the story, Kingdom Come is like the best storyline, right? If you're not going to do like 3-part Justice Leagues, just do Kingdom Come. It doesn't matter Henry's old or Gal's old or Ben's old. Just do that.
The problem with that is
the movie.
It's like, do you want a Kingdom Come with David Cornsweet? Because that's what you're asking for.
No. I'm saying end the Snyderverse with Kingdom Come.
I don't like. See, here's the thing. As time goes on, that becomes a less and less likely scenario. Because we're not going to have this grand movie. Like, 10 years on, they're not going to just do a movie out of the blue for the Snyderverse. It's going to be any. Like, let's say the current Gunn universe goes. In 10 years, you get Kingdom Come. You're going to get Kingdom Come with David Cornsweet.
No, but okay, let me rephrase. What they should have done.
You want Henry Cavill to come back as Superman? Christ on Infinite Earth. That's how you do it.
Let me rephrase. What they should have done before moving on to the Gunverse is done. Okay, we're doing Kingdom Come. Last movie of this universe. We're done. There you go. All these characters get a send-off. Maybe you can do like the world became a Justice League last battle at the end of the movie. There you go. You're done. And then you move on to the next universe.
Okay, so if we're gonna play that scenario out, and like let's say the Snyderverse never stopped, I could see it happening in 2029, 2030, like that kind of thing. Because the MCU operated off of a 20-year timeline, 10-year, roughly 15-year timeline. So I could see it happening like 2028, 2029 kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. And Brown says, I don't think Zaslav is a movie guy or someone who gets movies. He is more reality-based. Yeah, exactly. Because that's what Discovery was. And that's the thing. It's like, Zaslav is also notoriously known for if a thing underperforms in his estimation, he shuts it down. That's why, to Nick's point, if Superman does not make $1 billion, that's it. It's also ironic that Gunn's contract ends when Superman releases.
Yeah, if it makes $1 billion, then it will get another movie. If it makes in the 900 range, maybe. Anything less than that is a big question mark.
Like, if it makes Man of Steel cash, then no, it's done. It's done. There's no way if it makes less than Man of Steel, there's no way that they continue that universe.
I will say this, though. I don't see it making less than Black Adam. There's no happening.
Black Adam and The Flash, I think it's going to clear.
I think minimum 450, 500 is like the minimum for this.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one, because it's not going to do Flash or Black Adam numbers. I guarantee. Because here's the thing. Superman, as much as they say Superman is like not as much of a guaranteed hit as like Batman, it's more of a guaranteed hit compared to Flash and Black Adam, even before those movies came out.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think opening weekend, we're probably looking at 60 to 80 million. If it does 100, then that's a very good sign. You can do anything more than 100.
And to be clear, I want this movie to do well. I just don't think it's going to do well because it, at least right now, and again, will get a trailer soon because apparently they're working on that. From what we know now, it looks like they're basically doing Superman Returns ... again in terms of execution and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm with Jared on this. I want the movie to do good. All the signs I've seen have been concerning, but I'm holding out hope because, like I said, when you put James Gunn into a PG-13, he actually does work some good magic. Like, do I think James Gunn could make a good Superman movie? Yes, I do. And am I hoping he does? Yes. But I'm kind of in a wait and see approach, just like Jared.
The thing is, like, outside of Twitter, I don't see a lot of positivity for the movie. In fact, I see a lot of people making fun of the stupid suits and all that stuff. So I'm like, that's why I'm a little more jaded. And to be clear, a lot of my concern is not necessarily because of James Gunn. It's because of WB, and I do not trust that company to run the DC brand anymore because of what happened to Zack. So it's like, at this point, I'm like, I'm sure there's going to be some BS-ery that we'll even hear about if they can't verse. He'll be like, I had this elaborate plan, but they made me go in this direction and recycle movies and stuff.
I will say, now that I've seen set photos of Corn Sweat in the Superman costume, it does look better. Like, I think James Gunn did the wrong picture to show. The
problem is that too late though, because people already have the image of that really bad image.
I mean, we did a 20 minute Comics Watch mini on my channel.
Yeah, but my point is, like, because first impressions are everything, and now people see the first impressions of that suit, it still bunches up. Now, again, if it's in the trailer and they VFX it, okay, that's fine. By the way, isn't it kind of funny how, like, the Raimi suit and the Cavill suit didn't need to be that VFX heavy? They fit the actor.
I mean, the Cavill suit, it was mostly just color correction. Like, they might have CG'd the cape in a few instances, but that really doesn't.
Yeah. The cape was definitely CG, and yeah, they did down the saturation a little bit. But in terms of, like, the fit, no, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, you see Cavill in the set photos, he still looks really good.
Mm-hmm. And even when he's moving in the set videos, still looks good.
This is the dangers of padding.
Exactly, and we heard so much about David Cornsweet putting on a muscle, and honestly, with the baggy feel of the suit, it looks like Hecklin season 1 suit where it was clearly padding, and every time he would, like, do this, it would bunch up.
Yeah, like, that's why I really respect Gal, because for Wonder Woman 1, she didn't get, like, huge, but she did get, like, toned with, like, some muscle.
Because that's what Wonder Woman would be. Because she wouldn't be like super jacked like some people want her to be.
Gina Carano should play Wonder Woman.
Honestly, yeah, I could see Gina. Wonder Woman has to have an accent in my mind. But the point is, yeah, she did work out though, and that's the hilarious part, because when she was cast, people were like, she's too skinny to play Wonder Woman, and then Zach's like, obviously she's gonna work out. What are you doing?
So to answer Brown Destroyer's question,
why didn't Marvel give more importance to Moon Knight? Moon Knight outsells even Superman. Moon Knight should have his own movie. He had a show, which was actually pretty fun.
So the answer is kind of like a yes and no, because like having Oscar Isaacs, who is like a really big star, play Moon Knight is kind of a big deal first and foremost. But the thing is, Moon Knight is not as popular as his fans think he is. Like, he's a cool character, but he is very much like a C plus Marvel character, maybe B, like B minus kind of thing. Like, the mainstream has no idea of Moon Knight, first and foremost. He is not a mainstream character. Among comic fans, he's known, but yeah. So it's like one of those weird things.
Here's the thing: even on that, comic book fans see him as like a Batman ripoff.
I mean, he's really not, especially like with the story. But if you just take one look at the character, you see Batman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. From a superficial look, he looks like Batman.
And which, by the way, yes, Moon Knight was an inspiration for Preacher. I'm just going to point that out.
Oh yeah, I could see that from a mile away, but I think that's a good place to leave it. Great episode. We're talking about Mixel Pick next week. So in terms of Comics League, first I'll start with Comics League. Britt and I for Super Wonder Legacy. So tomorrow we're releasing the episode on how the death of Superman broke Superman. And then this week, this Saturday, we're doing a live episode where we're going to compare Superman and Wonder Woman's relationship to Black Panther and Storm. So we're doing like Marvel comparisons now. And then on Wednesday,
Storm Panther.
Exactly. On Wednesday, I'm releasing my review of Absolute Superman. And then on Friday, for Under Two Capes, we're going to be discussing how we would do the Bat family in the Michael Keaton Batman universe. And then for movie night, we're talking about Spider-Man 2. How about you, Nick?
All right. So tomorrow I will be doing the weekly episode of Comics Watch. We're actually getting really close to episode 50. I got to figure out something special for that. We are going to be reviewing a certain comic book that we talked about extensively today. We're doing Kingdom Come.
By Alex Ross.
And Alex Ross. Written and drawn by Alex Ross. Yes. Tuesday I got Chrono Trigger. And on Friday we are talking about how how there's kind of like this conflict between mainstream journalists and then the content creators, and like kind of bridge the gap here. On Saturday, I'm playing some Dragon Quest 3 because that's coming on Thursday. I'm really excited. And then, Screecher is almost done. We'll have that be going to print here in a few weeks, and I'm just really excited.
Hell yeah. Stay heroic, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs with General Zod and Bizarro and the Alien Queen. Zois, Bizarro, and Maxabet for life. See you later.